When it comes to building muscle, is the diet or the exercise program more important? Look, this question is just absurd. When people throw this out and they'll give exact percentages, 80% of it is diet, 72% of it is exercise. This isn't even like you genuinely cannot answer this question. This is like asking somebody, what's more important to your car, the engine or the transmission? Now, you could get into the weeds and the details and say, well, technically, the transmission is cheaper to replace and it's not as heavy, and we can get in with, okay, I understand. You can't drive your car if you're missing the engine or the transmission. So it wouldn't be that both those things are 50%. It would be that both those things are required for you to drive your car. And that's the same thing with building muscle. It's not as if it's a pie chart and we have, 5 different things on it, and if you just do these 4 things, you'll get 80% of the results. No. If the diet is great, a lot of protein, a lot of micronutrients, a lot of sleep, which I know it's not diet, or if we have a great exercise program, progressively overloading, high intensity, good form, either or of those, if you're just doing one, doesn't yield you any results. If you're just eating protein, you might build trace amounts of muscle, 1 or 2% additional muscle. If you're just lifting and you're in a fast, you might build trace amounts of muscle, like I said, 1 or 2%. You are not building any serious amount of muscle or strength if you are not doing, to some extent, both. Now, do both of them need to be at 100%? Could we have a debate on which is more important to perfect 100%? And in that case, I'll just be honest. I'll say it's probably the exercise. If you can have a 10 out of 10 exercise program in terms of intensity, form, exercise selection, etc., or a 10 out of 10 diet program, I would probably lean towards the exercise because the benefits for building muscle when it comes to the gym aspect of it, you need to hit a certain threshold before you can build any muscle. So if the lifting is so atrocious to where you're not even training your legs or you're not going with any intensity, even with a perfect diet, if you're doing a couple air squats, that's technically working out, but you're going to build virtually no muscle. Versus if we flip it and we have an all-out lifter and the diet is food. So it'd be comparable to a bad exercise program, but you just are eating something. You're eating pizza every day. That would build more muscle, in my opinion. Obviously, it depends on a bunch of variables, specifically how many calories you're eating, specifically how much protein you're eating, specifically how hard you're pushing in the gym, and how intelligent your workout program is. But the question still on its face is it's just ludicrous. It is just ludicrous. And this kind of stems from when people talk about, where are the abs built? Are the abs built in the gym or in the kitchen? This one is more understandable because losing body fat, it just comes down to how many calories you're eating. So building muscle, it's a 2-step process. Food, fuel, protein, etc., micronutrients, as well as the gym. So there's 2 things you have to do to build muscle. To lose fat, all you have to do is eat less calories. But still, even when people say something like, well, where are the abs built? Well, if you never train your abs and you've got super small abs, you're going to have to get super lean to see them. If you are squatting heavy, deadlifting heavy, training your abs directly, you are going to have them visible at a higher body fat percentage. So even in that case, it's where are the abs made? Kind of both. Now, it's not as important as the building muscle aspect because you can't see your abs while never training them if you get to low net body fat. And the same can't be said in reverse. You can't just keep building and building and building abs and just show them at any body fat. There is a certain threshold to where you'll never see your abs no matter. You have a set cap to how big your abs can get. And if you are 38% body fat, you're not going to see them at all. So, once again, I just want to clarify. If you ever hear anyone talking about the exercise or the diet or the sleep or whatever when it comes to building muscle being a said percentage, that's not a thing. And same thing with the car analogy I gave. The tires, the transmission, the engine. There's a bunch of things in the car, and some of which might be harder to replace, some of which might be more expensive. But there are quite a few things you need to have in your car for it to run at all. This isn't like, having low oil or no oil to where you could probably still run for a little bit, but it's going to get dicey. This is a situation where My car doesn't drive. And that's that.